Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. And I want to start off by saying this is not a tag. It is not a response, even though it is a response. Makes no sense, right? So I was watching yesterday Thea at Garden Goddess Tarot channel, and I'm like, oh, she's doing like some kind of new weird tag. It's weird because I wish I had a garden. I don't have a garden. I love when Candy Soul and Soil does little stuff in her garden, and they've done a collaborative tag. I think it's called Tarot in My Garden, where they go out every week and find two or three cards in the majors, and they're doing them in order, and find them in their garden. I'm a little jealous because I don't have a garden. I have a flower bed by my front door that has Easter lilies in them, but because of the weather this year acting crazy, they're not even bloomed yet, and it is almost June, and usually they're gone by now. So, yeah, that's different. So, as you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I decided to DoorDash as a secondary job, income, whatever you want to call it, just to make some extra cash. Since this year started, and door dashing takes me all over the area, and I really had not broadened my horizons into how many back roads lead to the same place, or if you take these two side roads, it leads you to a completely different area that you never even know about. So today, I was door dashing, and it's right at that time of day. It's almost, I'd say it's right around 7, and we're in that time of year where 7 is still really daylight. About 8:30 is when it starts getting dark now. So here, anyway, in the Midwest, I should clarify that, but I was shocked today because after watching not only Thea's first two videos, I went back and watched Candy Soul and Soil's first two videos on the Tarot in My Garden, hashtag Tarot in My Garden. And I'm like, I really wish I could do this tag because it would be cool. I don't have a garden to speak of. I mean, I have a blackberry bush on the other side of my house, but it's like I'm just randomly in my yard. I don't have a garden per se. But it's funny because if I had not watched their videos, it would have never opened my mind up to seeing tarot in the world, not only in our garden, but in our world. And I would have missed what I saw today. So these 4 cards, there's 2 of the same and 2 of the same. Well, not the same, but you'll see. So today I went to because it was a very high tip, I took an order that the restaurant was up the street, but the delivery was in another town. It was a town I first moved in when I first moved to the area, to the state. And I thought I knew all about this town, but apparently I did not. This took me to an area I had never been before. And there's literally city here and then country, like a block away. It was weird. You would see like city stuff, and then there was picket fences and barbed wire fence and fields. And I'm like, what? I did not know that existed in this area because it's all surrounded by town, like a major part of the town. And as I went over the railroad tracks that I didn't know were there, which shocked me, I went down the street and I dropped off the order, and I went to turn around and I saw sunflowers. It wasn't just sunflowers though. They were 2 art, like those metal, brown leaves with the big sunflower in the middle. And I immediately thought of the sun card in my Tarot of the Haunted House. I was like, oh, there's the sun. And it kind of was just like, oh, this is a matter of fact thing. The sun is in my daily life. It's there reminding me, hey, I'm here. Don't forget about me. I know you're frustrated right now. However, da 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 da. And it just threw me off for a second. I literally just kind of, oh, like there's the sun. And I'm like, okay, girls, I get it. I get what you're trying to do with the garden thing. Okay. I also lit a incense over here. Um, and I immediately thought of this card, and I'm like, this is basically just saying, because I was frustrated. It seemed like this location went on and on and on forever. I was completely out of my zone of where I would get orders from. I was a little frustrated, and then I just happened to look over in somebody's yard as I was turning around, and there was the sun. And I was like, that's hilarious. And then I pulled from my stretch tarot the sun card also, because it more reminds me of almost like the staged sun versus natural flowers. And that's why I pulled this card here, because it was almost like someone who had planted them there knowing I needed to see that. It was just very weird. And it harkened back to, it reminded me back in January, my card of the month was the sun card. And it just reminded me of where I started the year and 5 months later where I'm at now. What I've already been through this year. It's just unbelievable the amount of stuff I've been through. And I still came out of it holding the sun within me, if that makes sense. And I just thought that was beautiful, that was in that moment, that was my reminder. Hey, you still carry the sun within you. Don't get so bogged down with semantics. And it put a smile on my face. And I was like, wait, this is cool. These girls are onto something, because it's not just the tarot in my garden. This is a tarot in my world. Where am I seeing this in the world? And ironically, not maybe 30 seconds later, as I'm driving back across the railroad tracks, I get stopped at the stoplight and I look over, and there is a beautiful black stallion, and in this like paddock area. And I'm like, when is there horses here? This is crazy. And I immediately thought of the Chariot. I was like, there he is. And there he is, just as beautiful here as he was in real life. This is exactly the kind of horse I saw. And I actually took this is from the Light Seers. This is from the Animal Totem Tarot. This is him as well. Like, it's the same horse almost, it feels like. But I immediately thought of my Light Seers and like the darkness of him. But here it's almost like he's gray, but he's faded. But I just found it interesting because also Candy Soul and Soil did a hashtag busted chariot, something about my chariot, and I actually did a VR to that over a year ago when my hold on, I got a nap. Okay, over a year ago, I did a VR to that video and talking about the Chariot card, and I just found that came kind of full circle in that, you know, she was saying, how did your chariot year go? And my chariot year was kind of horrible, because I felt like, and I said in that video, my soul card is the Chariot, and then that year was my chariot year, and I literally felt like the Chariot had me in the reins, and I was just being dragged along the year as fast as it could carry me until we got to the end, and then it was like, okay, we're done. And I'm like, what have I learned? Nothing. And I found in that, and which I found very ironic today when I saw that, because I saw the sun card, and the sun was like, oh, you still have me within you. You still have this brightness, this beauty, this daylight within you. Don't get bogged down with everything. And then I literally turn around like 30 seconds later, and there's this beautiful black stallion, and he's just standing there. And I immediately thought of this guy, but he's rushing by. The Eight of Wands here, he's rushing by also. But, um, and I feel it's funny that they're racing to the finish line, so to speak. Whereas the guy I saw today, also with how I felt at the end of the year in my chariot year, was this slow calm. And he just was moseying through the yard today like, I'll get there when I get there. And sometimes we have to realize when we are having those chariot moments that we don't have to race to the finish line. We're only racing ourselves. And to me, that's what the big thing I learned in my chariot year was I'm only racing myself. Why am I exhausting myself? Why am I racing to the finish line? What's going to happen when I get there? And so sometimes we have to remind ourselves, again, it's not how fast we get there. It's the journey. It's what we learned along the way. It's learning to stop and smell the roses if need be. And that's what kind of just, it all sunk into me today was like, what is happening? Like, I see the sun, and then 2 seconds later, I see the chariot. It was just crazy. And I'm like, girls. And it's just funny because my mind would have never been open enough to see those things had it not been for their videos. And I just want to, like I said, it's a follow-up, but it's not because I don't have any gardens to show. I don't have any pictures from that to show because I was driving. I couldn't take any photos. And it's just funny because I'm in another town delivering this order, right? I get back to my area and the last order of the day, again, I'm delivering in my area. It's like 25 minutes away from where I saw the sun and the chariot. And I delivered an order and I was at a dead end and I had to turn around. And as I turn around and I look up and across the street, kind of like the same situation earlier, another person had the same exact sunflowers in their yard. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I just found that fascinating, first of all, that two different people, at two different times that I was really frustrated, had sunflowers in the yard that immediately calmed me down and immediately made me think of that the sunlight, bringing the sunlight into me. And then right in the middle of all that is this chariot going, yeah, I'll get there when I get there. Just calm down. And I think that was the whole point of seeing all of that, and that seeing the tarot in that was, you're only racing yourself. You just need to calm down. You just need to take a breath, breathe in that sunshine, because it was very sunny and bright and beautiful. And I wasn't enjoying it because I was frustrated. So I just found that was insane today. And I wanted to share that, with you guys. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And let me know if you see tarot in the world, like that. That was pretty cool. I may do more of these like this. Who knows? I might decide to start a garden at this point. I don't know. But I want to thank Candy, and I want to thank Thea from Garden Goddess Tarot, and Candy from Candy Soil and Soil for their videos. They were amazing. I love seeing other people's flowers in their gardens. And again, I'm so jealous of you guys for having such beautiful gardens. And thank you for opening my mind and eyes to being able to see tarot in the world. So you guys have a good night. Bye.